Okay guys, next up is Keeper of the Light or Ezalor or Gandalf, whichever name you know him by, or whatever, whichever name you use. Pretty decent set of skills. There's two versions of him, there's mid version and support. I just play him as support. Mid version would use something like Dagon and Ethereal Blade, shenanigans like that. Cast Illuminate, try to burst them. But I just like the support version much more. It kind of goes with the whole team, I think, better. Works really nice with Scepter and stuff. So yeah, let's just cover the support version. So starting with Tranquil Boots, after you pass the whole consumable phase and stuff. Tranquil Boots is because you have chakra magic and this replenishes huge amount of mana. Cooldown is pretty low, it can be cast on yourself, on any allies in the team. So you're kind of without any items already, you're kind of covered with mana and you have no worries about that. Something like Lion, but you can also give allies, it's instant cast, you don't have to leech from anybody. So you just kind of cover your health regeneration and mana, and you're kind of good on the lane. You can harass, you can give mana to anybody who's on the lane with you. So it's just a nice combo, right? Fixes two things at the same time. So from that, I just usually when I play Ezalor, if in most of the cases, I just kind of rush towards Scepter. There's a couple of items you can get in form of Force Staff or Glimmer Cape, but when you go in your ult, you get a really nice AoE blind effect, right? So anybody hit with this are gonna miss on their attacks. Something like trying to hit Windrunner, right? When she pops her skill. Also does the pushback, so you can get a push him in, or you can push him out. You use pretty much as a defensive knockback. It can be used like that. And I kind of think, Ezalor has so much things kind of inbuilt already. There's also slow. Solar Bind is like a slow. If they try to move, they get slower and slower. The further you try to move. This is level 1, so there's like a pretty good slow. There's a AoE miss, there's a mana, right? Mana replenish mechanic, and there's nice AoE in forms of Illuminate, right? So all of that kind of you can kind of justify it going for Scepter, because Scepter becomes really nice. It gives you really nice AoE spell. So it's an orb that pulls everybody. You can see in the circle. Circle is kind of large, it goes all the way to this. So unless they destroy the Wisp, which also takes, a couple of attacks, it can be really annoying just trying to get out of the circle. You can kind of prep them with any other AoE. When you cast ult, you can just kind of leave your spirit to continue casting Illuminate. You can give them this, kind of make a bit sure they get hit by that AoE. If there's anybody else in your team, of course, looks great. Just a really nice crowd control spell, right? So adding that to the arsenal as soon as you can be really nice for Ezalor, and then you can kind of think about some other items, or you can just go for the smaller ones instead, right away. So Ezalor again, his ult gives him some movement speed buff. That's nice, but that's not forever, and you're still kind of right clicking. As with others, usually support heroes that lack any movement, any mobility type of spells, there's no jumps, there's no leaps, nothing like that. You don't really play Blink. Force Staff is the way to go. It kind of goes with the whole team. You can kind of, when you're on the road, you kind of blind them, get away, save anybody as well as, the usual stuff with Force Staff. It gives you that extra mobility option. So if you want to play aggressive and then you gotta kind of get a run back, you do not get stuck, because unless you're under ult, you gotta stay there and channel Illuminate. That's your damage dealing, nice AoE damage dealing spell. So you kind of gotta be able to cast that, and if somebody tries to attack, you can quickly get away with Force Staff. Maybe slow them down with solar bind, and maybe cast blind if you're under ult. This is not a cooldown. So goes with the whole team, right, of survivability, but also helping the team. Some other stuff as usual is Glimmer Cape, another way to escape, another way to protect anybody. Works especially well if like let's say hero is full health. Even if it's about to initiate, I always say this: you can use this offensively. If there's a tight I'm just using Tides for example. Tides plays Blink. There's an opener on that. You cannot send them in. You can just give a Glimmer Cape as a extra layer of protection, as like a really buffed, twice buffed hood. You can send them in. If they decide to nuke him with the spells, he's gonna get 50% less damage. That's also one way to use this. Of course, defensively, if he's running away, cover him with this. Use the Force Staff. Use both of these, or you know, if you want to use this on him and then he gets away, you get away, both get away, right? Potentially, maybe not, maybe you both die, who knows. But yeah, the usual combo with just the Force Staff and Glimmer Cape, you can never go wrong, and then a really nice Scepter, right? So that's kind of Ezalor already. Games usually end even sooner before you get all of these. If not, the good old Aeon Disc, you know, gives you another life, gives you time to think about what you want to do next, depending what they used on you. If you want to just go into ult, cast the Will-O-Wisp, cast the Illuminate, cast the Blind, you know, keep him occupied. Maybe you die, but then your whole team gets to jump in and, you know, you make him spend resources on you instead of your team. As support, that's great, even if you die. You know, it kind of gives you that couple of seconds where you can really stop and think what I want to do next. Do I want to run back or do I want to go full offense, right? Same ways with Ghost Scepter, especially against any nasty right clickers. I always use Ursa as an example because he can really one-shot anybody, you know, weaker supports. He plays Blink, he gets the Overpower skill with the passive, he can really one-shot you in those, I believe it's 6 attacks, right? He can really destroy you. There's also the jumping one. So anything like that, this can be great. If you kind of feel maybe Legion Commander is gonna jump on you, Faceless Void might jump on you, you can precast it if you kind of get the gut feeling somebody is about to jump you, stuff like that. You can also always bump this into Ethereal. That's another way you can disable any from your friends. I mean, not really disable, kind of save them from physical damage. If anybody's ever getting destroyed by a right clicker, you can just, you know, use it on them, and then they can't hit him. Your allies don't get the slow, of course. It's only enemies. Your allies get the normal movement speed. So that's one way. You know, precasting this. I mean, being an ult. Let's say you're an ult, you cast this, you hit somebody with Ethereal. Not this fast, of course. And there, Ethereal gets hit by the horse and stuff. That's like a nice damage combo you can do. But yeah, it's not that cheap to get, but it's made out of Kaya nowadays. It's not the old recipe, so Kaya still benefits you, right? And yeah, it hits their biggest stat as a damage, like to enemy heroes. Of course, the old Scepter, if there's any channeling spell, you do not have anything. There's Will-O-Wisp, I guess, but if you don't want to waste that on some single target, there's always Yule Scepter, any channeling spell, Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden, Legion ulting somebody, Pudge ulting somebody, Enigma, anybody like that. If you get silenced, breaks the silence. If any stun is flying towards you, stops you from getting hit by stun. You know, anybody chasing tides chasing tides, you can stop the tides from killing your tides. You know, it just works in all of those ways. And if the game goes really far, really long, there's always Hex. Nothing too crazy to combo with Hex here, like with some other heroes where you can go kind of like Hex into Silence, into Slow, into Freeze. Maybe something like Ancient Apparition, right, where you can cast a Cold Feet, Hex somebody, and then once the Hex expires, they get frozen. Nothing really like that with Ezalor, because even with the Solar Bind, they gotta move to get the maximum slow. But you know, Hex is always there when you play support. You can always keep it in mind. It's a lot of money, though you do not benefit anything from Mystic Staff or Void Stone. You do benefit from Ultimate Orb, but that's pretty much it. There's some extra health. The end effectors, of course, is great, but it takes time. And like I said, the other parts are really you do not care about the extra int and mana generation, right? Especially not with Ezalor. So there's that. Solar Bind also reduces magic resistance on other enemy heroes. So even if it doesn't feel really like a good way to cast. You can always just kind of combo Solar Bind and Ethereal if you have it at some point, right? Just don't forget that it also reduces magic resistance. You can hit them a lot more with Ethereal and with this also. So it's kind of like a mix type, right? There's some of this, nothing really too crazy, as though it is not that crazy keeping people in place. That becomes kind of more. It becomes better with level 15 when you get double solar bind charges. But I mean, yeah, as always, kind of a mix, right? Not really in any special direction where you gotta put him. He's like straight into this or into that. He's kind of mixed bag. But great hero nonetheless, right? So if you're done with items, shard is basically paid to get your old skill back. If you remember, if anybody played Dota 1, this was in Dota 1, your basic recall was I believe it was instead of Solar Bind, something else in this. You can just summon to yourself any friendly heroes if they're not getting hit, that is. Yeah. So it only works if they're not taking damage. Now, doesn't matter that much if they're not taking damage. If it worked like against damage, that would be probably too powerful though. That's why the delay with the damage, right? But yeah, that would be pretty much it. You also have to be in this form to do it. But that's pretty much it. I guess if maybe you're doing split push, maybe you're like top lane, one guy went bottom lane, you kind of want him on the top now to get the full team fight on top. You can kind of move in quickly with that. But I mean, it's kind of, you know, you would probably have to post there anyways. They would maybe have even boots of travel. They could teleport anyway. It's not that big of a deal. In Dota 1 it's different. There's no posts that you can teleport to, so it becomes much bigger there than it is here. But yeah, the money is gonna be a problem with Ezalor if your cores are not busy farming and you get like a couple of waves for yourself. Just make Illuminate, clear the waves quickly. You can push with Ezalor really effectively. Just be careful with this spell, because the one way to ruin your whole game even before it starts is you being on the lane, spamming this, pushing the lane, getting less hits, just not letting your friend on the lane farm. You know, it's gonna be carry as well. It's gonna be safe lane. So just keep in mind, this is best used towards just hitting enemy heroes, not hitting enemy creeps. So you don't want to push the lane towards their tower when you're kind of exposed and trying to less hit like on their territory. You don't want to do that. You don't want to less hit in the laning phase, even after, right? So yeah, just be careful with Illuminate. That's a tricky one. So yeah, that will be it with the items and the whole spells. Quickly talent tree. Talent tree, I just take Blinding, Light Miss. I think it's 40% basic. Yeah, so this kind of this bumps it nicely to 70%. 40 to 70 is a big difference. I always get this. It guarantees that the hit is always going to be a miss. So I just get this movement speed. You do not care really. Like I said, you'll fix your mobility issues with ult, with force staff. You'll be fine. Just ignore the movement speed. Second one, I just take charges. If they're pushing towards you, they're running away, this is a great spell. You know, works both ways. If they're trying to get away, you can stop two of them. The more they move, the slower they become. If they're rushing towards you, also you can slow two of them, and the more they're trying to get you, the slower they become. It gives you so much more room to do whatever you want to do. You know, maybe counter attack him or just run away. Maybe your team jumps in. So I always take the Solar Bind. Chakra Magic, I think it's really necessary. It's 3, 20, 12 seconds. Your team is not gonna spend so much mana. It's not about that really. You'll probably be full. Your team will be, you know, maybe 1 or 2 guys, but with one click you can solve all of their mana problems. So always this. Third one, also Spirit Form. You want to stay in Spirit Form as long as possible, mainly because of Blinding Light. So you buffed this to 70%, right? Mischance. Why not just upgrade the duration where you can stay and spam as many blinding lights as you can, right? You don't really care about anything else really that much in ult. It's more about being able to like cast this and leave and then just keep blinding everybody, you know, pushing them away or using offensively, defensively. Like I said, if you're chasing somebody, you can also push them back towards you a lot, you know. So there's that. Always take the spirit form. Last one, blinding light stun. You know, why not buff that even more? You're kind of going with the whole team. Illuminate damage is great, but that takes time. Takes time to fully form. Takes time to release. The horses travel. They're not like instant wave. You know, they take their time to reach the target. You might just miss a bunch of these or whatever happens. I just kind of like getting blinding light stun. If the game goes that long, if you hit level 25, which might not even happen. So that's pretty much Ezalor and how I would play him. There's a refresher orb here. I guess if you want to go that crazy, there's also that. I just put it as an option. But I don't know about refresher. I mean, what really? Just kind of going into ult, using the Will-O-Wisp, casting blinding light, pressing it again, casting another Will-O-Wisp. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if you need to sweat that much. I don't know if that's worth the money. There's a lot of money. The stats are ridiculously useless for you. You do not need 2 times health mana regeneration, you know, but they put it there, so I'm not sure how many times this is getting used, but probably very late item, a lot of money, and yeah, not seeing that much use as all of these really, you know. These all kind of serve a really nice purpose. Even Ethereal as a last, or even a Hex, so not really sure I would put Refresher instead of anything really, if this is Hex, if this is Ethereal, even Scepter, right? All of the great stuff. So yeah, that's Ezalor, and as I waste more time, guys, I'll see you on the next one.